The more you care, the less they do. The more you chase, the faster they run. Why does this keep happening? Why do they lose interest the moment you show yours? What if I told you that caring less is the secret to making them want you more? In this video, you'll learn the psychology behind indifference, why it shifts power in relationships, and how to use it without pushing them away. But here's the catch. Most people get this completely wrong. So make sure you watch till the end to avoid the biggest mistake people make when trying to be indifferent. Welcome to NeuroVista. If you're ready to master attraction, hit subscribe and let's dive in. Before we talk about the power of indifference, let's look at what happens when you care too much. Because what feels like love can sometimes be a trap. Alex thought they were doing everything right. They gave their all, showed love, and made Jordan a priority. But instead of growing closer, Jordan seemed to slip away. The more Alex tried, the more distant Jordan became. And that's when the spiral began. It started subtly. Alex found themselves checking their phone every few minutes, waiting for a reply. When Jordan didn't respond quickly, Alex felt uneasy. Doubts crept in. Did I say something wrong? Are they losing interest? But when the reply finally came, relief washed over them, until the cycle repeated. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. The brain craves the highs and fears the lows, just like an addiction. And the more unpredictable Jordan's attention became, the more Alex needed it. Jordan became the source of Alex's happiness, and without realizing it, Alex had given away all control. Their world shrank. Friends noticed the change. Alex was less present, less engaged. The things they once enjoyed felt dull, because in the back of their mind, there was only one thought. Does Jordan still want me? But here's the dangerous part. This desperation doesn't make someone stay. It pushes them away. Jordan, feeling the pressure, started withdrawing even more. Shorter texts, fewer calls, more excuses. And every time Jordan pulled back, Alex panicked and tried even harder to hold on. More texts, more effort, more proving their worth. And that's when it happened. The emotional breaking point. The moment when Alex realized, no matter how much they gave, it was never going to be enough. Because the more one person chases, the more the other runs. Alex was exhausted, emotionally drained. It felt like nothing they did was enough. And just when they thought no one noticed, Taylor did. Taylor had seen this before. The endless overthinking, the desperate need for validation, the slow unraveling of confidence. One evening, after watching Alex stare at their phone for the 10th time in an hour, Taylor finally spoke up. "You're too invested," Taylor said. "You're making Jordan the center of your world, but what about you?" Alex was confused. "So what? I just stopped caring?" Taylor shook their head. "Not caring is avoidance. Indifference is control." That's when Alex learned the truth. Indifference isn't about shutting down emotions, it's about mastering them. It's about understanding that your worth isn't tied to someone else's response, that chasing someone only makes them run. But pulling back, that shifts everything. Taylor explained the scarcity principle, how people value what they think they might lose. The more Alex made themselves constantly available, the less Jordan had to work for their attention. But when Alex became less predictable, something interesting happened. Jordan started noticing their absence. Then there was emotional contagion. "Ever notice how one person's energy affects the other?" Taylor asked. "When you're anxious, they feel it. When you're calm, they sense it too. If you stop reacting emotionally, Jordan will have no choice but to mirror your energy." It made sense. Desperation repelled, stability attracted. And for the first time, Alex saw the pattern they had been trapped in. But knowing wasn't enough. The real challenge was this. Could Alex step back, regain control, and let go of the fear of losing Jordan? At first, the idea of stepping back felt impossible. How could Alex just stop caring? Wouldn't that push Jordan away completely? But Taylor's words echoed in their mind. Indifference isn't about shutting down emotions, it's about mastering them. So, Alex made a choice, a silent decision to reclaim their time, energy, and self-worth. The first step, redirecting focus. Instead of waiting for a text, Alex picked up an old passion, something that once brought joy before Jordan became the center of their world. Mornings that used to start with checking messages now started with a workout. Evenings once filled with anxious overthinking were now spent reading, drawing, or reconnecting with friends. Then came boundaries. No more dropping everything the moment Jordan reached out. If Alex was in the middle of something, they finished it before responding. And when they did reply, their messages were calm, composed, and never over-explained. They stopped seeking reassurance, stopped over-apologizing. Every interaction was now on their terms. But change wasn't easy. The silence felt uncomfortable at first. The urge to check their phone, to go back to old habits, was strong. Doubt crept in. What if this pushes Jordan away? What if they stop caring altogether? The fear of losing control almost pulled Alex back. But this time, they resisted. And then, something unexpected happened. Jordan noticed. Their responses became quicker. They started asking questions instead of just answering. The same Jordan who once seemed distant was now leaning in, sensing a shift they couldn't quite explain. But the biggest change wasn't in Jordan. It was in Alex. The anxiety that once consumed them was gone. They no longer felt like a prisoner of someone else's attention. Because for the first time in a long time, Alex was truly in control. What Alex learned didn't just apply to Jordan. It applied to everything. Because the power of indifference isn't just about relationships, it's about life. In friendships, Alex started noticing the same pattern. The more they chased certain people, the more those people took them for granted. But when Alex stopped over-investing, the dynamic changed. Some friendships faded, while others grew stronger, built on mutual respect instead of one-sided effort. Then came the workplace. Alex had always taken things personally, overanalyzing a boss's tone, stressing over colleagues' opinions. But now they saw it differently. Work was work. It didn't define them. Instead of reacting emotionally, Alex focused on results. Ironically, the less they worried about approval, the more respect they earned. Even in family where guilt and obligation often dictate behavior, Alex learned the power of boundaries. Not every call had to be answered immediately. Not every demand had to be met. Love didn't mean self-sacrifice, and saying no didn't mean rejection. It meant self-respect. Psychologists have long studied this. Dr. Robert Cialdini's work on the scarcity principle explains why people value what isn't always available. When Alex stopped making themselves overly accessible, they became more appreciated. Emotional detachment, as explained by relationship experts, isn't about being cold. It's about maintaining internal balance. The moment you stop seeking validation, you naturally attract respect. And that's when Alex finally understood. Indifference isn't a lack of care. It's a shift in power, a quiet confidence, the ability to walk away and mean it. Alex never imagined that pulling back would change everything, but it did. The anxiety, the overthinking, the constant need for reassurance, it all faded. Not because Jordan changed, but because Alex did. What started as fear of losing someone turned into something more powerful. The realization that true confidence doesn't come from holding on, but from knowing you don't have to. Psychologists call it detached confidence, the ability to care without clinging, to love without losing yourself. Studies show that people who set emotional boundaries experience less stress, higher self-esteem, and stronger relationships. Because when you make yourself the priority, others naturally start valuing you more. So, look at your own life. Are you over-investing in someone who barely tries? Are you losing yourself just to keep someone else? What happens if you stop chasing? If you reclaim your time, your energy, your power? Because sometimes, the strength of a relationship lies not in holding on tightly, but in knowing when to let go. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button and subscribe to Neuro Vista for more insights on mastering your emotions and relationships. And remember, when you stop needing validation, you become truly unstoppable.